My name is Diana Matthews. I'm 38 years old, and I thought I knew my husband. Marcus and I had been married for 12 years. We met at a community fundraiser where he was volunteering, serving meals to families in need. His kindness drew me in first, then his easy laugh, the way he remembered everyone's name. He was a financial consultant, steady and reliable. I worked as a school counselor, helping teenagers navigate their troubles. We built a good life together in our suburban neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but comfortable. A 2-story house with a garden I tended on weekends. We had talked about children, but it never happened. Instead, we poured our love into each other, into our work, into the community we served. 3 days before my business conference in Atlanta, I came home early. I had been away for a week, visiting my sister in Colorado. She was going through a divorce, needed support. Marcus encouraged me to go, said he'd hold down the fort. When I returned, I was tired, but looking forward to seeing him, to sleeping in my own bed. I turned onto our street that October afternoon. I saw it immediately. Bright pink convertible in our driveway. Not just any pink. Hot pink. Flamingo pink. The kind of car that screamed for attention. It sat there gleaming in the autumn sunlight, completely out of place in our quiet neighborhood of sensible sedans and modest SUVs. My heart started beating faster. We didn't know anyone with a car like that. I parked on the street and walked slowly toward our front door. My hand trembled slightly as I turned my key in the lock. The house was quiet, too quiet. Then I heard it. Laughter from upstairs. A woman's voice, light and teasing. And Marcus, my husband of 12 years, responding in a tone I barely recognized. I climbed the stairs, each step feeling heavier than the last. The bedroom door was partially open. I could see them before they saw me. Marcus sat on the edge of our bed, and a woman stood between his legs. She was younger than me, late 20s, with long auburn hair and a fitted burgundy dress. Her hands rested on his shoulders as he held her waist. His face was buried against her stomach. "You're so tight," he murmured, his hands exploring her body. "Not like my wife." The woman laughed, running her fingers through his hair. "Poor baby. You deserve better than what's going on here?" My voice cut through the room like ice. They both froze. The woman jumped back. Marcus's face went white, then red. "Diana." He stood up quickly, straightening his shirt. "You're not supposed to be back until Friday." Clearly, the woman grabbed her purse from the dresser, avoiding my eyes. She was beautiful in that effortless way some women are, with perfect makeup and manicured nails. Everything about her screamed high maintenance. "I should go," she said quietly. "Yes," I said, my voice unnaturally calm. "You should." She hurried past me, her perfume trailing behind her. Sweet and cloying. I heard her footsteps on the stairs, then the front door closing. Through the window, I watched her get into that ridiculous pink car and drive away. Marcus and I stood there, facing each other across the ruins of our marriage. "How long?" I asked. He ran his hand through his hair, a gesture I had once found endearing. "Diana, it's not what you think." "How long?" He sighed, defeated. 6 months. Her name is Brittany. She's a client. 6 months. Half a year of lies and deception. Half a year of him coming home to me, kissing me hello, asking about my day, all while carrying this secret. "Do you love her?" I asked. He looked at the floor. "I don't know. Maybe. She makes me feel alive. Young again." Something in me cracked then. Not broke entirely, but definitely cracked. "I want you to leave," I said quietly. "Pack a bag. Go stay with your brother. We'll figure out the details later." "Diana, please. Can't we talk about this?" "There's nothing to talk about right now. I need you gone." He left that night. I sat alone in our bedroom, on sheets that smelled like her perfume. And I didn't cry. Instead, I felt something cold and hard settling in my chest. A plan began to form. I didn't go to my conference in Atlanta. I called in sick, which wasn't entirely untrue. Heartsick counts. Instead, I did something I'm not proud of. I hired a private investigator, a woman named Rebecca Chen, recommended by another counselor at my school who had gone through a messy divorce. "I need to know everything," I told Rebecca at our first meeting. Where she lives, where she works, her habits, everything. Rebecca didn't judge. She simply nodded and got to work. Within 3 days, I had a file on Brittany Anderson, 29 years old, personal trainer at an upscale gym downtown. Divorced once already, drove that absurd pink Audi convertible her ex-husband had bought her as a reconciliation gift before she left him anyway. She lived in a trendy loft apartment that her current salary definitely couldn't afford alone. And here's the kicker, Brittany had done this before. Rebecca found 3 other married men she had been involved with over the past 5 years. All clients from her gym, all with comfortable incomes. She was a pattern dater, a serial mistress. But what Rebecca discovered next changed everything. Brittany had a daughter, 7 years old, named Emma. She lived with Brittany's mother in Ohio because Brittany's lifestyle wasn't suitable for raising a child, according to the custody agreement Rebecca managed to access. A daughter she barely saw, a daughter she had essentially abandoned to chase wealthy men and expensive lifestyles. Looking at the photo of little Emma, with her gap-toothed smile and her mother's auburn hair, I felt something shift inside me. The cold, hard thing in my chest began to thaw. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about something bigger called Marcus. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. He looked terrible, like he hadn't slept in days. Good. I'm not filing for divorce yet, I told him, stirring my coffee slowly. But I have conditions. He leaned forward, desperate. Anything, Diana. I'll do anything. First, you end it with Brittany. Immediately. No explanation. No closure conversation. Just done. He nodded eagerly. Already done. I told her the day after. Second, I interrupted. You're going to help me with something. And you're not going to ask questions. He looked confused but nodded. Okay. What do you need? Over the next week, Marcus followed my instructions exactly. He contacted Brittany one final time, telling her he had made a terrible mistake, that he loved his wife, that he wanted to make things right. He was cold, almost cruel. She was predictably upset, then angry. Then I made my move. I showed up at Brittany's gym. She was with a client, but I waited. When she saw me, her face went pale. We need to talk, I said calmly. Privately, we sat in her car, that pink car that had started everything. She was defensive at first, arms crossed, jaw set. I don't know what you want from me, she said. It's over. Marcus chose you. This isn't about Marcus, I replied. This is about Emma. Her expression changed instantly. Fear flashed across her face. How do I know about your daughter? I know she lives with your mother. I know you see her maybe once a month. If that. Brittany's carefully composed facade crumbled. Tears spilled down her cheeks. You don't understand. I can't give her the life she deserves. My mom can. She has stability, a good home, excuses, I said. But my voice wasn't harsh. You're choosing men and money over your own child. She sobbed then, really sobbed, her hands covering her face. Here's what's going to happen, continued gently. You're going to make a choice. You can keep living this life, chasing married men, driving your pink car, pretending you're happy. Or you can change. Change how? She whispered. I'm a school counselor. I have connections. There's a program for single mothers returning to education, full scholarship, childcare assistance, housing support. You could get your degree, build a real career, get your daughter back. Brittany looked at me like I had spoken in a foreign language. Why would you help me? I slept with your husband, because Emma deserves a mother, and because somewhere, under all this, I gestured at her designer workout clothes, her perfect nails, there might be a woman who wants to be better. 3 months later, Marcus moved back home. We started marriage counseling. It was hard work, painful work, digging through years of disconnect we had both ignored. I felt invisible, he admitted in one session. You were so focused on everyone else's problems. I needed to feel important to someone. It hurt to hear, but it was true. I had been so invested in helping others that I had neglected my own marriage. We both had, but we worked at it. Slowly, carefully, we rebuilt trust. And Brittany? She surprised us both. She enrolled in the program, moved into modest housing near the university, started taking business management classes. Within 2 months, she brought Emma to live with her. I met them once, by chance, at a grocery store. Emma was holding her mother's hand, chattering about her new school. Brittany looked different. No makeup, jeans and a sweatshirt, her hair in a simple ponytail. She looked younger, happier. "Diana," she said softly when she saw me. Emma ran ahead to look at the bakery display. "How are you?" I asked. "Better." "Scared." "Grateful." She paused. "Thank you for seeing something in me I couldn't see myself." I nodded. "Take care of that little girl. She needs you." I know. I finally know. 2 years have passed since that October afternoon when I saw a pink car in my driveway. Marcus and I are still married. It's different now. We talk more, really talk. We set aside time for each other, protect it fiercely. We're not perfect, but we're trying, and that matters. Brittany graduated last spring. She's managing a wellness center now, with Emma in a good school nearby. She sold the pink car, bought something practical. She sends me a Christmas card every year. I don't know if we'll ever be friends, but we're connected by something deeper than friendship. The whole experience taught me something I try to share with my students now. Revenge feels satisfying in the moment, but kindness creates real change. Not always, not with everyone, but sometimes, offering someone a path forward does more than punishing them for their past. Marcus betrayed me. Brittany participated in that betrayal. They both hurt me deeply, but people are complicated. We're all broken in different ways, making mistakes, hurting each other, trying to find our way to something better. The real question isn't whether to punish or forgive. It's whether you have the courage to choose love over hate, growth over resentment, possibility over vengeance. That pink car taught me more about myself than I expected. It showed me my marriage's cracks, yes, but it also showed me my capacity for grace, for seeing past my own pain to someone else's possibility. I'm Diana Matthews. I'm 40 years old now, and I'm still learning that the strongest thing you can do when someone hurts you isn't to hurt them back. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is help them become someone who wouldn't hurt anyone else. That's real power. That's real love. That's what changes the world, one broken heart at a time.